So this is the Nike Pegasus Trail 5, and I have been running in these shoes for a little while now, and I have good reason to believe that these are the best trail shoes on the market at the moment for beginners getting into trail running, and also the best road to trail shoes. Let's find out why. So if you're after an in-depth review, all the technical details, stuff like that, this probably isn't the review for you for these shoes. This is going to be more of a practical review from someone who's actually put a lot of miles into these shoes and kind of given you my thoughts and my opinions on these shoes. But if you do want the absolute most in-depth review on these, head to Run Repeat. They literally cut these shoes in half, as well as pretty much every other running shoe that you could possibly think of, and then review them. So if you want all the technical details, head to Run Repeat and check out the review there. Having said that, I'm going to touch on a couple of the technical specs for the shoe. I'm going to touch on the upper, the midsole, the outsole, and then just a few of the features that I like. But as I said, I am mainly going to review these from someone who has trained in these, done my long runs, done speed sessions. I've even worn these to the gym, and I have recently raced in them. So that is what this review is mainly going to focus on. Let's start off with the upper. It is a single layered mesh, which I have found to be really durable, and the breathability, which is probably one of the most important things, is spot on. They use the Flywire technology for the midfoot lockdown, the additional lace hole for heel locking, which I love in running shoes. I feel like if running shoes don't have that, then I probably won't consider buying them. In terms of the midsole, Nike has put in the incredible new React X foam. Really responsive and cushioned, which I know isn't what everyone wants from a trail shoe, but again, this is why for me it is the perfect road to trail shoe. And finally, in terms of the outsole, Nike is using the all-terrain compound outsole. It's not quite the Vibram that you can find on the Nike Ultraflies. That is why, in my opinion, it is ideal for road to trail. And as I mentioned, I have recently raced in this shoe. I did slip slightly on a very, very muddy downhill section, but apart from that, I have had no problems with the outsole on this shoe. Now, in terms of the lug depth on these, it is a 3.5mm lug depth, which kind of hints straight away that it is a road to trail shoe. Anything towards 4 and 4.5 upwards, you're looking at a serious trail shoe built for technical terrain. But anything around the 3.5, as I said, perfect for road to trail. I've got the Nike Cargo 9s, and I believe they're around 4.4mm lug depth, and they just feel completely horrible running on the road in them, and I only ever use them on the trails, whereas these, second I bought them, went for a run, ran from the road to the trail, and they felt perfect. Now, one of my favorite features on any shoe, not just running shoes, is this very, very handy little heel loop. This one on the Pegasus 5 is so durable. Like, you can pull that all over. That is not moving. Super, super handy, especially on race day when you're kind of getting ready in a rush and you're panicking about missing the start, getting to the start line. Your nerves are all over the place anyway. Something very durable like this comes in very, very handy. One of the big things I always wonder about when I'm buying a running shoe is whether it is true to size, and I can confirm, in my opinion anyway, that the Nike Pegasus Trail 5 is true to size. Now, in terms of the price on these, you can get them from anywhere from like £90 to £130 here in the UK. Depending on sales, depending on what website you use. When they come out brand new, they are 130, but quite often you wait a couple of months and you can find these for 80 to 90 pounds. As I said, I have put in a lot of miles on these shoes. Unfortunately, I didn't actually set them up in my Garmin or Strava, so I don't know the exact amount of mileage because I've not been able to track that, but it's definitely, if I had to hazard a guess, probably pushing towards 200 miles so far, and they are still looking pretty clean. What do I like about this shoe? What do I dislike about this shoe? Would I actually recommend this shoe? Now, as I said at the start of the video, I do believe that this is the perfect road to trail shoe, and potentially a perfect shoe for someone who is a beginner to trail running. Some of my favorite features and why I'd personally recommend it is, as I said, the 3.5mm lugs just kind of make it so comfortable to run on the roads. That was my main concern. I've never really bought a shoe that's road to trail before, so I was concerned about that when I bought it, but instantly, first run, no complaints whatsoever. Another thing that I absolutely love about this shoe is the toe box width, also the toe box protection that you have. You do not realize until you run on like really rocky, steep terrain how vital that is. The amount of times that I've ran in the past when I've just ran in normal running shoes that are built for road that don't have any toe box protection, you end up kicking a big rock or kicking a big stone and it hurts so much and it kind of affects you running for the next few minutes. So that is a really nice feature on these. The main reason why I would recommend this shoe is I just feel like it is one of them shoes that you can kind of do it all. If you want to do a long run in them, perfect. If you want to do just an easy recovery run, perfect. If you want to run on trail, if you want to run on road, if you want to do a speed session, if you want to race in them, if you kind of want that shoe that does it all, this, in my opinion, is the perfect one for trails. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this shoe is absolutely flawless. There are obviously a few things that people could point towards. Firstly, there's no carbon plate, but if you are already in the market for trail run shoes, you know that trail run shoes with carbon plates are few and far between, and they're still trying to get that technology right. And obviously, if you buy the shoe, you already know that there's no carbon plate because it's very much advertised. And in my opinion, whilst the all-terrain compound grip on the outsole it's really nice, it's still not Vibram. So there are occasions where it's mainly on really, really muddy parts of a trail where I do just find myself slipping ever so slightly. Slipping and sliding, not so much falling over, but slipping and sliding definitely does happen. Obviously, if the outsole was a bit more grippy, then that would probably take this shoe to the next level. And then this version is not the Gore-Tex version, and the reason why I've not gone for the Gore-Tex version was because I noticed on pretty much every single website, the reviews were lower for the Gore-Tex version. And apparently it was to do with the breathability, and I just didn't want to take that risk. I've never bought Gore-Tex running shoes in the past, so I didn't feel like I needed to start now. So I went with just the regular version of the Pegasus Trail 5s, and they've worked perfectly for me so far. Now, the only other thing with these shoes, if you read any reviews on websites or any other videos, these are marketed towards heel strikers predominantly. Now, that is not me. I'm a forefoot to midfoot striker, but it is because of the rockered sole that is not previously featured in the Nike Pegasus Trail shoes, but this one does have that, so they are marketed towards heel strikers, but as I said, that is not me, and these still work absolutely perfectly for me. So finally, would I recommend these shoes, and if so, who would I recommend them to? You can probably tell I literally said at the start of the video, I would absolutely recommend the Nike Pegasus Trail 5s, and mainly to people, as I said, who are trying to get into trail running. Maybe you've always run on the roads, maybe you've just started running, or maybe you've booked your first ever trail race and you just kind of want a shoe that can kind of do a bit of both. This, in my opinion, is the perfect shoe. That being said, if you are already a seasoned trail runner, don't be put off by the fact that these are road to trail. You don't know how handy that is, and you know, here in the UK, there's some really, really technical trails, but also there's some light trails, and these could just be a perfect shoe for your easy recovery runs. If you do all your runs on the trails, these could be the answer for you.